I get paid to be on Facebook, so that's my excuse, right? But generally mornings work well, and partly is too is like there's a lifespan for posts. So if you post things in the morning, generally they'll last for a couple of hours in terms of visibility and in terms of how long they'll be out in the public. So if you post it, let's say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, you're going to rush into times like commute times and things like that, that you kind of lose that window of opportunity. So generally mornings work best, but again, test it and find out what works for your brand. And keep in mind that when we draft our posts, we keep in mind holidays and special days like Make a Difference Day that are relevant to our brands. Also keep in mind seasons. So, and what your viewers may be thinking about at that time of the year. So during the summer, you know, students are looking for summer volunteer opportunities, for example, or during the fall, they're looking for internships when the school year starts. Keep that in mind and post, oh, I lost myself, excuse me.
What is EO1?
End of year. So end of year giving, you know, end of year is coming up, and a lot of times nonprofits will do the push like, hey, get your donations in for tax purposes, right? So, you know, plan some posts in advance. Get it scheduled out there, especially the last week of the year, so that, you know, you can get your message out there, right? At the right time when they're looking for it. And then there's also times you shouldn't post. Whenever something major happens, whether natural or man-made, we're always going through all of our scheduled posts to ensure that nothing is posted that may be seen as insensitive during that emergency. The worst thing you can do is have something go out that's seen as insensitive, and then you got a bigger problem on your hands, right? If you're in doubt, it's better just to cancel your scheduled posts until whatever happens. The Boston Marathon was a good example. When we heard news like that, we went through our social media profiles, like, okay, let's just not post anything. You don't want to be doing something promotional or something like that. Even this year, for some of our clients, we didn't post anything on 9/11. And I know it's been a while, but it's better safe than sorry sometimes. So keep that in mind. Also keep an eye out for things in pop culture, something that can tie it back to your brand if it makes sense. Who remembers the Oreo tweet during the Super Bowl? Anybody know about that? Okay, so Super Bowl happened, I can't remember what year. The power went out, it was a blackout. And not too many minutes later, Oreo sent out a tweet with a graphic that was like, you can still dunk in the dark. And it was like an Oreo, it was black, there was a spotlight, and it was like a milk cup, and that was it. And it was so on point, it was so relevant that everybody was tweeting about blackout at the Super Bowl, and they got so much buzz from just that one tweet. Keep it relevant to what's going on. But also keep an eye out for what's going on in the news. If your nonprofit does work on homelessness, for example, it's such a hot topic right now. Get your story out there. People will care about it. They'll want to be talking about you and the great work that you're doing. So keep that in mind. Whatever is relevant going on, those are the type of stories you might want to be promoting at that time. And social media isn't a set it and forget it thing. Sorry, kind of cliche. And unfortunately, it never sleeps. So you want to have a strategy in place that ensures that you're listening to what your audience is saying. Probably the hardest thing about social media, but there's some tools that you can use to consider to help. For your phones, Facebook has an app called Facebook Pages. And essentially, it allows you to manage and maintain your brand accounts from your phone, and you keep it separate from your personal Facebook app. So again, it's nice because you can set up notifications. When you like and comment, you know you're doing it from your brand and not your personal. So it's just a nice app that you can use. Some other things is 2 programs I want to mention. So Hootsuite and TweetDeck. Both include desktop and mobile versions, but the nice thing is they're free. I won't go into too much. I know Tiffany showed a little bit of Hootsuite earlier. But essentially, they allow you to not only post and schedule through your social media channels, but also you can set it up so you can monitor, again, what people are saying, and then so that you can engage in a timely manner. And remember, it's called social media for a reason. You need to be social. So it's a conversation. Remember, it's a conversation. Be human. By being too corporate or too formal, you're just going to turn people off. You're not going to engage. Engage in a conversation as much as possible, and people will appreciate you for it. And I don't just mean on your profile. Like and comment on your fans or other organizations' profiles as much as possible. Twofold. You build a relationship with them, but then also their fans and followers will see you pop up in their feeds as well. It makes people feel good. Everyone likes to have their posts to get likes and comments by their friends. By liking and commenting, you become a friend of theirs. Be sincere, have meaningful conversations, and mean it. If you're insincere, that's probably the worst thing you could do on social media because people will call you out on it. So what are we trying to achieve? The being social is all about building relationships, and it's all about building brand advocates. So a brand advocate is someone who will be your representative. They'll speak on your behalf. They'll say the thing. They'll talk for you when you're not there. Maybe you're not monitoring at the time, and maybe better yet, they'll say things that you probably can't say, right or wrong. But sometimes things need to be said. They understand who you are. They believe in supporting you because they believe in what you do. They'll be your salesperson, and they'll help you spread your message to their family and friends, both on social and in person. How do you build a brand advocate? 3 E's. Engage with them first. Like I said, be social. Have a conversation. Become their friends. We'll do anything for their friends, right? Once you build the friendship, take the time to educate them. Share with them what makes your organization special, and tell them why they should care and why other people should care. Show them the good that you're doing, and educate them on the impact that you're making in the community. And then lastly, enlist them. Get them to be your representatives and provide them with the tools that they'll need to advocate for you. Give them information, send them your press releases, invite them to your special events. Not only will it make them feel special, but also that they can be tweeting and sharing pictures from your events to get, again, your message out there. And even provide them with pre-drafted posts. So, and ask them to share it for you. Create a graphic. Make it easy for them to just copy and paste, and then ask them, hey, do you mind just sharing this for me? Leverage their networks to get your message across to a greater audience. So one thing to consider, Facebook is the largest, yes they are, whether we like it or not. So it's almost impossible to not have a Facebook page. One thing we want to keep in mind, and some of you may have heard, so Facebook organic reach, that's the amount of people who see your post without advertising. It's been decreasing over recent years. And just because you post something doesn't mean all of your fans will see it, even if they're logged in at the time that you post it. And Facebook does it really because they're trying to show you what it thinks you want to see. And this works even for personal pages as well. So the good example is politics. If you are a Democrat and you had some Republican friends, you likely wouldn't see their posts on your page, on your feed, because you're probably not going to like it anyway, right? So Facebook's going to only show you posts that it thinks you want to like and see. So keep that in mind. That's why it's important also to be sure that you're putting out content that's getting likes, comments, and shares, because if nobody is liking, commenting, and sharing your post, then eventually no one will be seeing your post at all. So again, something to consider, keep in mind. How can you get around that? Obviously, good content strategy works. And I just realized, sorry, I'm blocking the entire wall for you guys, I'm sorry. Having a good content strategy helps, but of course, Facebook is a business, and all businesses want to make money. So Facebook ads. So if you have a budget, even a small one, consider Facebook ads, even just to test the waters. The nice thing is you set your budget. You can determine how much you're willing to spend, and then in return, you can target specific audiences. So say you wanted to reach 18 to 24-year-olds in a specific zip code that was interested in volunteering. Facebook will allow you to target those exact people. And then you can also test your ads. So test different images, test different copies, see what works, what gets the most engagement, what gets the most bang for your buck. Move from there. Some other things, again, I won't go into too much detail, but if you have any questions, I'll be around. You can ask questions, or you can always look it up. Google has a program called Google Grants for nonprofits. And the nice thing is that if you're part of this program, in addition to the Google apps, so Gmail, Drive, and even a premium YouTube, they offer nonprofits $10,000 worth of Google AdWords per month for free. And of course, there's some limitations, like you can't sell things with the ads, but still $10,000 is a lot of money that you can talk about the mission of your organization, some of the services and programs that you're offering, things like that. I know Tiffany, again, Canva was one that she mentioned. Great for people who don't have any graphics experience or even can't afford Photoshop or know how to use Photoshop. Simple click and drag, can do topography, graphics, again, some stock photos and things like that. And then one of my personal favorites is an app called Over on my phone. And essentially, it allows you to put text over a photo. So, I normally do graphics on my computer, but sometimes you're out on the field, you just have your phone, you take a picture. You want to just put some text over it just to reinforce the message that you're trying to convey. Again, getting it as snapshot as possible. Put some simple text over it before you're posting, and I'm done. So, and it's a free app too, so it's something nice. Final thoughts that I want to leave you with. Remember, what makes your brand special? And something I like to do is I like to think of 3 adjectives that describes each brand that I'm working with, and then keep that in mind as you're doing your posts and you're managing your profiles. Are you still conveying those 3 adjectives when you're doing everything? Keep your audience in mind, because of course, without them, you're not being social. And remember, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And if you're not achieving them, then figure out how to fix it. And with that, thank you. Any questions? I work for, my agency is Becker Communications. Yeah, but I run digital marketing for them, or digital communications.
Thank you, Will.
I think we're going to have a panel if you guys have any other questions, so that'll be fun.
Wait, can you block? Turn that off. Awesome. So I think you guys are in for a treat. We got some more amazing social media pros that are going to be coming up. We'll get a chance to do some Q&A and a panel. So I'm going to invite Shelly, Amanda, and Tommy to come up and join us here. And we'll grab some